Yeah, and good day to you, Sonika, and thanks very much, and good day to all. It actually gives me a great pleasure today sitting here and talking about last 30 years. I was a part of the team in DOT in early 90s when we first brought in cellular to the country, and that really was the starting of a new era in telecommunication in India. And today we may look at a billion plus subscribers and the overall impact that has had on the economy. It's tremendous. But today we are going through a very critical shift from so far typically a mobile technology into an all-encompassing new technology called 5G. In ITU terms, we call it IMT 2020, and the standard has just been approved about a year back. It's a national priority for India, and India has been working on it for quite a long time. When we think in terms of 5G, people think in terms of, okay, higher speed, maybe more videos, but that's not so. I think we need to be very clearly understand that 5G is critical to support India's industrial development. It is critical to support Atmanirbhar India. It's going to unleash economic opportunities and societal benefits never thought of before. So it's a kind of a game changer for the mobile industry and for the country as a whole. So if you look around the world, for example, 5G has already been rolled out in a number of countries. I think almost 60 countries have already rolled out 5G. But what is most important is the countries, the developed countries in particularly, have started using it for their industrial growth. Everybody knows the examples from Germany, where the Mercedes factory was the first to set up a dedicated 5G for their own plant. Last, I think 2-3 days back, we saw Nokia doing the same for the Audi plant. And I think 3 days back, I was talking to the head of the Asia Brown Boveri in Thailand. And in their factories in Thailand, they have implemented a complete dedicated 5G network. And they assume that this is going to be a game changer for their industrial development, for their production itself. So we have to think of 5G not just as a simple increase in speed, but in terms of a game changer for the country. And I think India, the country is really looking at it. The government is really involved in that. I think one of the key issues that we need to think of is that when we roll out 5G, and it's slightly delayed, but yes, I think we are coming back on track, we have to look at the harmonized way of use of the spectrum. ITU in the last World Radio Conference in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, where many of us were here, we spent almost 2 months there trying to carve out a treaty where the spectrum has been harmonized for 5G, both in spec bands below 6 GHz and about 24 GHz. So we have to make sure that the harmonized spectrum becomes available and at the right price. Today, if you see the starting price itself is so high that operators find it difficult to go for it. So we have to look at the spectrum pricing in a very holistic manner. My own, and I've been freely speaking about this in a number of forums, that the initial price for the spectrum auction has to be drastically cut down. Without that, I think it will be very difficult and challenging to have a 5G rollout, particularly for the millimeter wave bands. They're the first time we are going into millimeter wave bands about 24 GHz, the so-called 26 GHz band. And that band actually should not have any starting price at all. It should be an auction with any opening price. So that's a kind of policy paradigm shift that is needed, and TRAI is already looking at it. Hopefully, they would look at it in a completely useful manner where the country's economic development is kept in view. So let's see, I think we are all on the right track, working closely with the government. We have had a number of interactions with the government and with the TRAI on these issues. And hopefully it will move very fast now. Yes. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Bharat. I think clearly new technology will require new policy interventions and new support. So it's heartening that the industry and the government is thinking alike in the same direction to kind of create that enabling environment. So just moving on, before